So a friend of mine has this collectible guitar amplifier somewhere from the DDR, the City SC10b. I assume that's 10 watt. The speaker actually reads DDR underneath some paint. For whatever reason there's paint coating on. It's 3 ohm, it's fairly large, and a single-sided print with a mixed collection of components. Like we see some capacitors from the Soviet Union and some quite modern Western style capacitors. And the most remarkable thing here, actually I think, is the transformer, which is like an open transformer. When did you ever see such a thing? So it's a very straightforward amplifier. There's no overdrive in it. It got a tone control and a volume, and well, I can tell you the product succeeded, the repair was fine, and the sound is actually pretty reasonable. Okay, that's a very nice, clean, pleasant sound. There's nothing wrong with this amp. So it doesn't have an overdrive, but it's a lovely sound. I really like it, and the speaker is huge, you can tell. So the issue being like the operational amplifier that had broken. He actually showed me one. I figured the best way to access it was by removing the transformer, right? I'm unsoldering the old one. I had to just cut it off and unsoldered it and straighten up the pans so I could get them out cleanly. And I was pretty lucky on that. Apart that 2 copper pads were actually damaged by either the heat, either the mechanical stress, either both. So I'm placing the new op amp here, right, soldering it. Also to fix like the middle lead of the op amp, the copper pad is broken. So I strengthened that with a piece of wire from a resistor to have a low resistance path, right, and not rely on the soldering tin. So mounting it quickly up again, right, getting it all in place, because this was the basic repair. I didn't spot anything else that was obviously broken. Apart one thing, okay, here I'm looking at the transformer leads, because they bend so much, and they're literally the leads from the coil worked outwards. They're not like separate, they're like solid copper leads. So I desoldered them and soldered them again, and apparently that's the way to go with this board. You were just supposed to desolder those wires and then get the board out and leave the transformer for what it is, but okay. So quick check on everything, if everything is connected correctly. The speaker, one of them hooks are loose. I'm not sure if that already was, or if I did it opening up the case. Here the dog is helping me. It's a bit funny to comment on my own video. But the original footage was like 3 hours long, right? So everything tidied up in place again, repairs properly, double checking stuff, and guess what? It didn't work. Well, it did work. There was like a 50 Hz hum coming out of it faintly. There was some crackling going on, and if it crackles, then the speaker would really put out a huge amount of power. So that all worked. The preamp likely worked, because if I turned up the volume on the guitar, really everything volume max, in the faint distance you could hear the guitar, but it was nothing like playable. So the input stage seemed to be working, albeit maybe with an error. the power operational amplifier just worked fine. That fix was a breeze, but I'm testing it here and there's like what I said, a bit of hum, a bit of noise, and not much. So on for the next day, and I asked him, did you? He said, well, I poked around a bit, but so next day I'm sleepwalking here. I actually verify some components, right? I tested all the transistors. They were like double diodes, anything normal. Nothing looked cooked on board. Capacitors were fine. Well, there's little use testing all the resistors. So I started following the tracks on the PCB, right? How the signal was going. It actually went in order of the potential meters, which is from right to left. First the gain, then the bass, then the treble. And the treble was the treble because the treble potentiometer, the wiper from it just wasn't making any contact. So there was like 100k potentiometer and the wiper was just like high impedance, not contacted. So there you go, that's the issue. So I had to figure out what to do, because replacing that potentiometer, first of all, I don't have anything like that. Also it's on the edge of getting a collectible, so just replacing it with new shit is gonna reduce the value. Repairing the potentiometer is really, I guess you probably could if you are willing to spend a weekend. And finding an alternate compatible model would be the fix. Yet I chose to just, in parallel, I soldered a 100k wiper pot, right? Put it in the middle, so you can still adjust it if you like to. I choose to do this instead of two resistors because, well, at least now you can adjust it and it saves me soldering two resistors. So that's a bit of dirty fix, but so the treble tone controls in the middle, it worked. And actually the thing works as a breeze now. Very clean sound. It's very nice. Lovely amplifier. Okay, that's it for today.